there are 5 things, and these 5 things have to be developed in balance. And they are faith, energy, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. They are the so-called 5 powers. If you have these 5 powers sufficiently developed and balanced, then your meditation progresses the fastest. So we balance wisdom and faith, and energy and concentration. Mindfulness is that which balances. So mindfulness helps you to balance the wisdom with the faith and the energy with the concentration. So wisdom here is very good. It needs to be sufficiently developed so that you are able to analyze and to think about and to understand the suggestion from your teacher for your meditation practice, for your development. But if it exceeds the helpful measure, then it can turn into conceit. So then you start to invent things which are beyond that what the teacher found helpful, and therefore you may not get the result that the teacher got. For faith, faith is helpful in order that you try out that what the teacher says. If you don't believe that what the teacher says might ever be helpful, then you certainly will never try it out. So you need to believe that the teacher found this particular thing helpful so that you also try it out. But when faith exceeds the helpful measure, the problem may arise that you will not try it out anymore. You will just accept it for granted. Take it for granted. Okay, yeah, he says it's not self. Yes, I accept it. Yes, it is so, you know. I don't need to practice this because I have already accepted it. You know, so that would be a conclusion that would be detrimental to the development. So their wisdom and faith have their helpful measure and their excessive measure. So that's where we need to balance them. And to observe whether it's too much or too little, we use our mindfulness. So we need to understand that proper wisdom is when we still are there in the limit of that what the teacher suggests, that we do not invent new things which would exceed that what the teacher said. So we still invent, we still analyze, we still research, but we research in such a way that it still comes into the limits of that what the teacher has explained. Faith must be there sufficient. If there is not enough faith, then that's exactly what happens with excessive wisdom. When you have too much wisdom, when you have unhelpful amount of wisdom, then that means that equals not enough faith. Sufficient faith is when, if you want to try something else, something what the teacher did not suggest, something that the teacher did not speak about, and that is not obviously in the limits of what the teacher has explained, then sufficient faith is, the helpful faith is when you come to the teacher and ask him or her, "Oh dear teacher, you said that I have to observe my breath. Can I also observe my breath in something else? For example, outside of the body, you know? Or can I observe the energies or the chakras?" The teacher has never said anything about chakras. But okay, so let me ask, you know? So you come to the teacher and you say, okay, well, you said observing breath, but what about chakras? What about if I observe my breath in the heart chakra or in another chakra? So that's where there is enough faith, you know, where there's the helpful faith. So it doesn't mean that that enough faith means that you just follow what the teacher says and you don't care about anything. No, you continue thinking, you continue inventing, but you are open to the teacher, you know. You first tell your teacher and then you try out that your idea, you know. There are many cases when the yogis find out something that the teacher wanted to say and for whatever mysterious reason didn't happen to say it. So it's really helpful when the students really try to invent, you know, and find out new things and better things, you know, for the practice. But it's so important to tell the teacher, so the teacher can tell you, okay, well, so if you practice this, what you suggest, it will lead you there. If you practice that, it will lead you to somewhere else. And the teacher can then share with you his or her own experience, you know. So the practice in meditation, the practice of Buddhism, is basically just following that what helped another person with the vision that it may help you too. That's why in Buddhism we would usually not improve or change the instruction, because it would become an instruction that doesn't have, what do you call that, blueprint? It doesn't have an evidence, you know, it has not been tested to work. So it may even be dangerous in some cases. So when you have wisdom, when you have sufficient wisdom, when you have helpful wisdom and not too much wisdom, not unhelpful wisdom, then you are still open to share with your teacher your new ideas, your new inventions, or whatever it is that you'd like to change. If you have helpful faith, then still you are thinking about what the teacher says, you still listen to it, and you still follow it, and you want to know more through your own experience. Unhelpful faith, too much faith, would become when you don't want to follow the teacher anymore, because you think you already have understood it all through your faith, through your belief. And to know it, to realize it, we use mindfulness.